Hello, my name is Angel and welcome back to my channel. Sorry for not uploading last week. I came down with a pretty gnarly cold. Sorry if I still sound a little bit sickly. It's trying to stick with me, unfortunately, but I'm feeling so much better. So now I can finally talk about the books that I read in April. First, I'm going to talk about the book I've mentioned the most on this channel. It's no surprise. It is Everything is Tuberculosis, The History and Persistence of Our Deadliest Infection by John Green. This is his new release. It just came out in March, so of course I had to pick it up and dive right in. This one is a 5 out of 5 star read. I recommend that everyone pick this up. This is so important. It's brought to light so many issues, especially the prevalence of tuberculosis in the communities that it affects, the most. I learned about pharmaceuticals, about healthcare. This is such a short book. It's 189 pages, so I definitely think this is supposed to be like a starter book. It's very approachable, especially for me, someone who doesn't typically read nonfiction. I mostly wanted to pick this up because of the author and because of the topic. It took me by surprise. John Green is doing what I think is a great job of using his platform to talk about important and serious topics, and he does such a great job with this book. It's really framed around a man named Henry, who at the start of the book we learn John Green thinks he's a child, but he's actually a tuberculosis patient. He's like 17 years old when John Green meets him in Sierra Leone, and we follow him throughout the story, so I really appreciated that. That definitely helps the story flow, which is sometimes I struggle with nonfiction. I feel like it's easy to just put a nonfiction book down and not pick it up again. Didn't struggle with that at all in this book, and it ends with really making you want to ask yourself, what am I going to do about this? How can I help? And whether that be something as simple as telling people about the issue and what you've learned, and or asking them, to look into it with you and sharing resources, whatever you can do. I think this book is really asking you to do that. I wanted to talk about this one first because I mentioned it so much in my last reading vlog. I finished the book. It was just as great as I expected it to be, and I think you should definitely pick this up even if you don't really read nonfiction. Feeling kind of rusty filming, not gonna lie, so sorry if this is a very chaotic reading wrap up. But next book I'm super excited to talk about because it coincides with the 20th re-release of, not 20th, the 20th anniversary re-release of Pride and Prejudice 2005 film adaptation with Keira Knightley. So I went and saw that with my friends. Love that experience because I love that adaptation so much. It was my introduction to Pride and Prejudice, so of course I had to reread Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This was such a fun experience. It's been 10 years since I read it for the first time, so this was my reread after 10 years. And of course, I'm a lot older, so I had a different lens to experience the story through, and I loved it even more than the first time. I definitely felt like I understood the story more. It was easier to follow this time around. I just love Elizabeth Bennet and her observations and her insight, following her through this story and how she views Mr. Darcy in the beginning, her prejudices, and then how she comes to view him at the end. This is the OG enemies to lovers story. It's so, so good. Even after all this time, the romance, the wit, it's so funny, it's so romantic, and I can see myself rereading this so many more times in the future. But I definitely loved rereading it 10 years later and then getting to go see the movie that introduced me to this story in theaters with my friends. I feel very fortunate that I've gotten to see a lot of my favorite films in theaters recently, including The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. It's just a completely different experience getting to see your favorite films on the big screen. So I love that so much. And yeah, this is a classic. I'm sure you've seen it everywhere. The love story between Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy. If you have not read the book yet, I highly recommend that you do so. It's so, so good. Definitely had a deeper appreciation for Elizabeth Bennet's sisters this time around, especially Jane. And I definitely felt more anxiety with Lydia's situation this time around. And that's the best thing about rereads, is that is what stands out to you more, what you can appreciate more and understand more. So I loved getting to reread this, and I love this copy. It's so pretty. Of course, this stays 5 out of 5 stars for me. Then I read another Austen-esque story, The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon, Volume 2 by Beth Brower. I'm continuing this series. There's 8 volumes out right now. I hope to read at least one every month. They are so, so good. Emma M. Lyon is such a great character to follow. Again, like Elizabeth Bennet, she has such great insights. It's romantic, it's witty, it's everything I love in a story, and I'm really just loving experiencing the way it's told, how it's told through her journals. I'm definitely finding that's something that I like and would love to read more stories like that. So I've watched a couple of your videos, a couple recommendation videos for people who love Emma M. Lyon, and I have a lot on my radar. Of course, my TBR is massive as it is, so not sure when I'll get to those, but at least I have them in mind. If you have not seen this series around YouTube or Instagram, we are following Emma M. Lyon as she returns to her hometown of St. Crispian's, a neighborhood in London, in 1883, I believe. So she is living her life, trying to get her estate back in order. Her cousin Archibald, has been taking care of the estate, or so she's led to believe, and now it's up to her to make her way in life. And we get to see old friends, new friends, love interests, and the more volumes you read, the more engrossed you become, the deeper your affection grows for the characters, and I am loving every second of it. I should say they're like novellas, they're not long at all, so you can definitely speed through these, or you can go at a slower pace and read the sections per the month that they're taking place in, because the journal entries are dated, so that's really fun. Where I'm at now, it's like September. It's just such a great experience and I'm loving it so much. Then I think I read one more book. Let me check. Oh, how could I forget? Yes, I read Gilded in Vengeance by Alyssa Maya Smith. This was the e-arc that I was approved for. The book itself is coming out in November 4th, and I couldn't wait to read it. So as soon as I got approved, I started reading the book and reviewed it. I've already shared my review on my Instagram, This Angel Reads, so you may have already seen it there, but I really enjoyed this book. So let me set the stage. It is an alternate Gilded Age New York. We've got magic, and there is the Society of the Charmed. So this elite society of charmed people, and Emmy and her best friend Grace are coming to this ball to showcase their magic. Emmy's time comes to perform and her magic's not working. She has no clue what's going on, except now she's been made to look like a fraud and she is going to be arrested. When she sees this weird glimmer, you know, maybe her best friend Grace is not her best friend. She's been betrayed, right? So now she is in Grimsbane prison. All she can think about is getting revenge on those who betrayed her. When Jack Fontaine, another person who's been betrayed by the society, breaks her out and says, hey, I also want to get revenge. Maybe we can use your magic, which I know is real, to get this thing going and maybe take down some wealthy, crazy people. I thought this story was a lot of fun. We have a masquerade ball, which I love, and found family, also some social commentary on race and class, of course, which I really appreciated. I love to see that in a YA book. I personally really enjoyed the romance. The plot is fast-paced and the villains felt real for the most part. There were some parts where it was kind of eye-rolly, but other times I really genuinely hated these people and was totally rooting for Emmy and Jack to take them down. If any of that sounds like something you'd enjoy, I would definitely check it out in November. That is everything I read in April. Honestly, April was a crazy month. I was not expecting. Pat on the back for me for even completing 4 books. Sorry, just had to have a coughing break. On that note, hopefully we can get back to regular scheduled programming. I hope that May is going well for you so far, and I will see you next Sunday. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!